ASMR, get ready for bed with me. I am a shower at night girly, so let's do the hair wash routine. First, I'm going to restock my soap dish. Honestly, these kid shampoo bars and conditioners last a long time. This bar is from December, but I really wanted to try the rice water protein, so this one goes into my travel bag because it's not liquid and I can take it on the plane. They all fit in one compact dish, which is very aesthetically pleasing, but also space efficient. I only have this one little shelf in my shower and everything fits there perfectly. I definitely recommend getting the scalp exfoliator if you have any dryness because it feels amazing, but also my flaking has decreased by, I would say, close to 90% since I started using it. They're free of phthalates, parabens, silicons, and sulfates, and very eco-friendly, and I love all that. I also got a kojic acid face and body bar. I haven't been using it that long, maybe a couple of weeks, but I've definitely noticed that my skin feels smoother and less dry. So as you can see, next day, curls are curling. Just a little bit of curl product in this, but they've stayed really soft and shiny. The hair overall feels a lot healthier. Definitely way less flaking, which I'm so grateful for. I love getting to work with Kitsch because I genuinely use them. They are my shampoo, conditioner, and body care, and I'm a huge fan of their products. If you want to try to incorporate Kitsch into your nighttime routine, which I highly recommend, you can use code HANNAH for 25% off your order. There's a link in the description below. Now relax and enjoy the video. Hi, Nalanda.
Hi, Hannah.
Nice to meet you today. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, of course.
I'm very excited to get to do a Reiki session on you today, read your energy, and then a palm reading as well.
I'm excited.
So yeah, and then we'll see kind of where the session takes us. I might want to pull a card or two for you, but we'll kind of see what the body is calling for and what it needs. I'm going to start out with your hands, and I'm just going to have a look at them. Flip them here. So first thing I want to do is identify if you're an earth, wind, fire, or sun. Okay, so it looks like you have these long palms and you have quite long fingers as well. So when you have a combination of the long palms and the long fingers, you are a water sign. What is your astrological sign?
Aquarius.
So there you go. So Cancer, Aquarius, Pisces, all water signs. You have the water side hand. So that's very interesting. And before we do the reading, I'm just going to cleanse you with some spirit water. Slowly introducing my energy. I don't want to overwhelm the system. I see you have some astrological symbols here on the hands.
Yeah, actually the one on my middle finger is the Aquarius constellation.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm a very celestial girl. I have like sun and moon stars and stuff too.
Well, that's a good thing. It's good to be connected to the universe and things that are quite vast and big. Obviously, I feel similar. I feel so connected to the universe. So. Okay. So flip you over here and just relax. So there are 4 main lines that we pay attention to on the palms. This top line is the heart line. And are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
So we'll start with that one. So the dominant hand tends to have the most, dominant say. All these lines in our hands, these palm lines, they develop when we're a baby. They develop while we're still developing as a human being, and they stay the same throughout our lives. So it tells us a lot about who we're going to be. So we have the heart line up here. So the start of this is fairly interrupted. There's quite a lot of change when it comes to the heart line earlier on in life, until we get to about halfway point, and it becomes very, very solid until it slowly fades away. So maybe some issues with connecting earlier on in life, or feeling unsure about your relationships, or having multiple, not just romantic, but, friendships that are very intense, or family things that are kind of not perfectly stable, but it does even out until the end. Then we have this line here. This is the headline. So this is very interesting because you really might have struggled with identity for quite some time, kind of not sure exactly who you are, who you should be. And you can see how weak it is here. And then suddenly there's a break, and then it continues much stronger. So I don't know if you've gotten to this point yet, but there's a point in your life where you're...
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Like, have I reached it yet? What age does that look like?
There's not numbers attached to this. Who knows what this kind of point in life is. But there's definitely a big difference between sort of the start of life and who you were and who you become mentally. Okay, moving down here, we have the lifeline that goes around here. And yours is actually 2. So that's not that surprising, considering that you have kind of this identity and then this identity. And I think that mimics in the lifeline as well. You have sort of your initial lifeline where you are one way or type of person, or perhaps, it starts when you move to a new place or have a family, or some form of your identity really changes. And then it becomes much stronger later in life. It continues on. And then lastly, we have the fate line, which runs up the middle, and this one's pretty consistent. So you're a fairly fortunate person. You're a fairly predestined person. Like, what is going to happen for you is going to happen for you.
Don't I know it?
Exactly. That's good that rings true to you. Looking over here, it's pretty similar as far as the lifeline is a bit more singular on this side, but the same thing with that headline being kind of vague in the beginning, and the fate line is quite defined here, although not as defined on the dominant side, but I tend to trust the dominant side versus the non-dominant side. All right, so we know that you are someone who feels very fated for their destiny, but I don't know if you know why you do these things. So you just know you have this draw, this path, but like that connection between purpose and action is a little bit disconnected. So let's try and work on that. I want you to just close your eyes, and I'm going to start with a healing on the hands, grabbing one of my shells. I'm going to scrape away the initial energy, anything that's on the surface that's just sort of clinging onto you. I'm going to introduce some gentle vibrations with my voice. I'm going to look for a tone that suits you, so I might try a few different ones, but you can try and focus on that third eye right in between the eyebrow point while I do this. That one suits you well. Few more. this hurting you at all?
Feels nice.
Good. You don't actually have too much of other people's energy. It feels very much like it belongs to you. You do definitely, take care of what you need and care for yourself and love yourself, which is great. Sometimes when there's a lot of extraneous energy sort of dangling off of the aura, you can tell that you're a person who just takes on other people's bad juju, let's say. But I'm not feeling that too much here. So this right side is more blocked than the left side, especially right here in the center of the palm. Just going to do my right side to match your energy. I am being more gentle with you than I may be with other people. It's just what I feel like your energy needs. I feel like it needs to be worked on gently. I think you're more sensitive of a person than you let on. Let's see. Let's do some cat's eye. It's fun, it's playful. It's a joyous, positive energy. And your energy is really good. The only thing I'm sensing is just that there's a slight, hard exterior that's hiding a little more sensitivity and doubt underneath. Up there. Some violet stone over here. Cousin of amethyst. Good for anxiety and stress. I feel more stress than I do anxiety. you ever feel like you ask a little too much of yourself and your energy? You expect a little too much of yourself? That's kind of what I'm getting, feeling-wise. And you feel like you should be able to do more and be more outgoing and be more just positive than maybe your body is calling for. Place these along the arm. Okay, stay there. I'm going to move the hair to the side so I can sense the energy. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. High heart's a little blocked. Back. Third eye's clear. That's good. Again, you have a very strong sense of fate and direction, so that doesn't really surprise me. Shoulder points are, they can be cleared out a little. Okay. Heart also just needs a little. Okay, I'm going to take my bigger shell for the back. Entering a vibration. Shell creates a natural amphitheater for vibration and sound, and that's all energy is. It's just different wavelengths. So there is oftentimes a buildup of energy right at the base of the neck. This is where our spinal cord meets the base of our skull into our brain. And our corporal bodies are definitely very important still, even with spiritual work. So this is the cornerstone of mind and heart. pulling out individual hairs, stimulating this point. See now. A little better. Let's do some self-love, pink quartz scraping. Gonna work my way through the scalp. So the high heart was a little blocked. I'm gonna combine it with my amethyst, which is for anxiety and stress. Feel it now. Much better. Feel any lighter there? Okay, good. Pulling out there's just one thing here I need to pull out and then tie off on the high heart. Okay, there that goes. Let's see. Got a cord. See if that caught it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna tie that off. Send it down the meridian lines. Seal the practice with some sound. Continuing to stimulate the high heart. come back around. I think I do want to pull just a past, present, future card for you, okay? So you can relax. Shuffle the cards. I'm gonna have you tap 4 times, 1 in each corner.
Oh.
You're good. Right there. Yeah. Again. I want you to pull your past card. Okay. Pull your present card. And your future card, please. Okay. Past, present, future. The lizard. The lamb. Ooh, interesting. And the bat for your future card. Okay. So I always refer to the book, but I have a sense of what this is telling me. So you did get 3 animals, no earthly card, no otherworldly cards. So we'll start with the lizard. So would you consider yourself sort of in balance right now or out of balance? How are you feeling physically, emotionally?
I would say it depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Okay. So when you're in balance, this is empathetic, artistic, spiritual. When you're out of balance, though, it can be elusive, non-committal, and flaky. So this is kind of what you're dealing with as far as like your history of, the lizard is very strong-minded, but also can be very elusive, right? It can hide in dark places, not want to come out into the light, or it can be very laser focused at hunting its prey. Then we move on to the lamb, which is a much more docile card, which is interesting. So this is your present.
Remind me of soft girl era.
So it's an earth symbol. Somewhere. There you go. So when you're in balance, it's knowingness, inner peace. Basically, a lamb is more taken care of. It's more of a pack animal than a lizard, which is more of like a lone creature, someone that moves on its own. The lamb is going to be someone that trusts in others, that has a good supportive group around them. But when you are out of balance, when you're not feeling like yourself, you're going to be more timid, more afraid. You're going to find yourself questioning yourself more often than usual. Again, it keeps coming back. You know who you are. Like, you know who you are, you know where you're going, you're very strong-headed, strong-minded, but you can really, really doubt yourself as well. And that's exactly what that lamb card is. And then we have, finally, the bat. So you have one from each symbol. So your future card is darkness, letting go, death leading to rebirth. So when you're in balance, you're accepting, you're adapting, you're adjusting. When you're out of balance, you're refusing to let go. You're, working with excuses and blame. So I see kind of a very common path, I think, as we grow in age and figure out who we are, which is someone who's very confident, someone who feels like they know what they want. Then you get to a point where you're a little bit more comfortable, you have a little bit more of a routine, and you start feeling like a little fearful of things that are outside of that space. You know, even if that routine is going clubbing at 3 a.m., it's not about sitting at home and reading a book, it's about what you're used to and pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. And then you have the Bat, which is a very driven, very strong card that is really acceptance of the world, who sees things at a higher point of view. Or you could go the other way, which is that you could really struggle with accepting your circumstances and feeling like you're not in the right place. So that's your reading today, and you can do with it what you want. Obviously, you know, every reading has some truth to it. Every reading has a little bit of like, I'm not really sure what that would mean, but it's about reflecting on what you've received and saying, how does this apply to me and how can I be more conscious of it? Okay. Wanda, it was so nice to meet you and get to work on your energy.
Yeah, so thank you so much for everything, for, you know, a Reiki session as well as the reading. I really appreciate it. It's definitely offered me a lot of things to think about, and also to help me figure out how I want to move forward.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm really glad to hear that you enjoyed it. Feel free to, you know, book another session next time I'm here in town, and really, really fun to work on you today.
Oh, thank you so much.